Is $1,500 enough capital to start an Amazon FBA business? What are the best product categories to choose from for a beginner Amazon seller? Is Amazon FBA overrated? What is the success rate of new Amazon FBA businesses? So Quora is a popular question and answers platform that doesn't like when you link to your website. Yes, even I, mayor of Quaraville, and ethnically speaking half Quoravian, sometimes have trouble getting my posts on the popular question and answer website, Quora. So I'll answer all the best Amazon FBA questions here on YouTube, and hopefully they won't cut me off in a similar. Let's get started. Not bitter at all, but let's go. Where's the hokey music? Okay, there it is. Okay, can I immediately start making money via Amazon FBA? Can I immediately start making money? It's all in the wrist, and it's all about the immediate gratification. A lot of people are saying perhaps that you can make money immediately via Amazon FBA, but I don't think so. In fact, I know so because just logistically, here's what you need to do to make your first sale on Amazon. You need to pick a product idea that's good and has forecasted demand, something that you see that other people don't see, like it's essentially something with demand, with search volume already on the largest shopping platform in the world, but it's been underserved or people aren't serving it right. Like even if you find a cool niche like funeral urns or belaying goggles or graduation gowns, like what about that is being underserved? Do most graduation gowns come in black and that's boring, and now there's a trend towards multicolored graduation gowns? Or are graduation gowns too long and people trip over them, so you have an insight about how they need to be shorter? Like that takes, even if you're some sort of genius, at least several weeks. Then you get a sample from a supplier in the US or China or wherever you're buying your product wholesale. You get a sample, you then pay the supplier for a mass production run of anywhere from 50 to 500 units. You ship the product to an Amazon FBA warehouse, and then you're listed. And if you do a launch or something or sell a few units at a discount to get the sales rolling, you get in front of shoppers and then you make your first sale. So you tell me whether that's immediate or not. It's still very worth it because you're leveraging the largest online shopping platform in the world, and could foreseeably get passive sales from it. But it's no, it's not instant at all, and it's a real business, and you should treat it as such. Yeah, the only reason that there's perhaps some hype around Amazon FBA is because for the first time in history, like the average person can sell in the largest store. Like try selling your product in Walmart 20 years ago, and retail distribution used to be barred. Now it's completely unbarred in every sense. So yeah, I mean that's a very special sort of opportunity, but it's not a get rich quick scheme either. So which should I choose, Shopify or Amazon FBA? Good question. These are in no way equivalent to one another. What I would say is certainly Shopify is faster to market. Like you could get up and start a Shopify store immediately, like right now, and have a product listed online. And again, I guess if you know marketing, like if you can put together a proper sales funnel and you could acquire customers using Facebook ads for less than the margin you're getting on the product, I totally recommend it. Amazon FBA is very different in that it's slower to market because of all the processes that I just outlined, but by the time you're done, you have a built-in audience selling on Amazon. So it's not like Shopify and you launch to crickets unless you pay to acquire customers or do content marketing, something like that. This is very much, the crowd is there if you get to them and can reach them and can rank for keywords on Amazon. So, I mean, these are two entirely separate models. This is very much a do-it-yourself and dependent on your own ability to acquire customers. This has some built-in customer acquisition ability, but it's slower to market, and you're also at the whim of a, call it, behemoth platform that doesn't really care about you. This, you're still using a platform, but Shopify is not really known to kick sellers off. You can sell whatever you want, whatever policies you want. You could ship in 20 days and not get kicked off. Amazon, very much the opposite. So, yeah, this is your own shop, and this is maybe, a stall in a shopping mall that someone else owns. Existing foot traffic in the mall, but you need to play by the rules, and obviously the mall takes a cut. This is your own store on some side alley that no one's ever heard of, but if you can drive demand and people and traffic to that side alley, then you're probably better off because you own that location. But you need to be a proficient marketer, and that's all I'll say about that. What is the best Amazon FBA training course out there? Well, I don't think I need to answer this one. Asteroid Aim is pretty darn good. But aside from that, I also like a gentleman by the name of Scott Volker. He's just seems like a really nice guy, and his training is succinct. It's in the form of a podcast. And so yeah, if you're in the learning stage, I think you will very much enjoy time with Scott. And thank you for watching this video. What is the best Amazon training out there? I'm pretty sure I entered a different question and not that question again. Okay, how can I get started with Amazon FBA with little capital? Okay, Sam, I did an interview with Sam. If you wanna check that out, it's on the channel. I'll link to it here. But also, so Sam's suggesting retail arbitrage. So that's a good idea. That means basically if you find somewhere that a product is sold online, like on Walmart, or it's sold on Walmart, or it's sold on even locally, like if you have it at Costco or whatever, you can buy it and resell it on Amazon for more than you bought it for. So that's retail arbitrage in a nutshell. It's a decent way to cut your teeth and become familiarized with Amazon's standards and settings. However, obviously, if you're selling someone else's product, you're not really adding a whole lot of value, aside from being where the customer is on the Amazon platform. So, plus, I mean, there are hundreds, thousands of other people competing for the buy box. It's not ideal. It's a good way to cut your teeth. That's all I would say. You can then reinvest the cash into something a little bit more proprietary. The next step up would be something like going to AliExpress, which we have here, which is like Alibaba, but it's Alibaba Lite. Say, for example, you are looking for a shower toy, or you plan to sell a shower toy rather. It's a flute shower toy. It's super cool. A kid obviously loves it. I believe his name is Schnappy. You choose to sell this multi-flute test tube abomination, and you can get it on AliExpress for $2.99. So here is plus some shipping. So call it $3-4. If you find that products of this nature are being sold on Amazon for I don't know, $12.99. You've just made yourself $10. The good news is with AliExpress, you can buy single units, 2 units, 3 units, just a handful, right? It's not Alibaba where you need product order minimums. However, this is only an intermediate step, and I wouldn't recommend staying here forever because it's so easy. Other people are obviously doing it, so other people can join you on the listing if they're selling the same product. I don't know how this just became a bird flu. This is weird. This is getting weird. I don't. But yeah, since other people have access to these sort of ground level wholesalers as well, they can just come on the listing with you or launch a competitive product very easily. The last and most advanced step, and the reason, I guess this person has little capital, so that's why they're phrasing it in this way. But if you do well with retail arbitrage for a while, reselling AliExpress products, and you now have more capital than a little, say $1,000, $1,500, you can launch a private label brand, which is basically going to not AliExpress and not Schnappy, but Alibaba, and saying, look, I'm this company, this product company. We make toys for kids' toys for baths. That's what our brand does. And I want to make a customized set where it's like a bath harp. It's not a flute, or a bath guitar. How much would that cost to make? They'll quote you, make some modifications, slap a brand name on it, and you're there, and you have your own brand now that no one can copy. It's more proprietary than arbitrage, and obviously more proprietary than this. Takes some capital to get started, but that is how you can address a specific need that is not being adequately met at the moment. So, and thereby adding more value, and thereby making more money in the long run. That's essentially the concept there. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad someone asked. These are just the more common questions. Oh, perfect. Perfect, okay. So in line with the last one, I would have loved to answer this, by the way. I would have loved to, but the capital required to start is around $1,500, I would estimate, for a private label business. Obviously, for this, you just multiply out, $5 by however many units you want, and you've got an Amazon listing up and running for all of like a few $100s. But an Amazon FBA private label business, yes, this is about right. What are your costs? You need to buy the inventory. That's the largest cost. So say, you'll be able to get it cheaper per unit than on AliExpress. If you don't, you're kind of doing something wrong, or the supplier is actually a reseller, not the original manufacturer. So watch out for that. So you've launched a brand, and say, you're up and selling now, or rather, you want to launch a brand. The largest chunk of this 1,500 is the inventory. So that may constitute 750, say like 50% of this. The rest is shipping to Amazon FBA. That'll cost you. And then, effectively miscellaneous, right? Expenses. There's, if you're using a product research app, or you're using, or you're putting additional products into this in a bundle, you're paying for packaging for the unit as well, presumably. So all these things. This is about right. I wouldn't, you could do less than this, but it would be lean, or the product wouldn't be terribly differentiated. You could do more as well, but I think this is a comfortable sort of mid-range, just to give you an idea of what it would take to get started. Is it too late to start an Amazon FBA business? So I think it's not. It is later. Like, it's not 2011 anymore, where essentially it was sufficient to list in 2011. Right? The need was so disproportionately there, and there weren't enough sellers to address the need. So a lot of people were looking and browsing around on Amazon, and not enough sellers, effectively. Now it's evened out a little bit. The sellers have risen to meet the needs of this, hungry Amazon shopper base of millions and millions of people. That said, people always want new things. Preferences change. Trends emerge and die down. And obviously people, like entrepreneurs, companies, have different ideas as to what might make a good product. So effectively, two things, right? It's not enough to sell a generic product in the long run. You'll either be priced out, or, just it won't provide a whole lot of value, right? Because anyone can buy. Just think of it this way: like it's necessary but not sufficient. The harder it is to get into a market, like the harder it is to start selling this, the fewer sellers will be doing it. But that's necessary but not sufficient. Like, it's not enough. Maybe there's not demand for this product at all. Maybe this product sucks in terms of like customers actually wanting it and the value that it provides to kids in baths. You need to do something that's relatively hard that not a lot of sellers are doing, but it also needs to provide significant value in that respect. So yeah, certainly not enough. Oh, we're not even looking at that. Yeah, I mean, certainly not enough. It's not enough to just post something up anymore, but you still can do quite well. It's not too late if you can carve out a niche for yourself and provide some unique value to the end customer on Amazon. Similarly, I think my answer is here. And I think it is, yeah. So the question here is Amazon FBA truly a business that one person can be successful at, or is it oversaturated? So I think a lot of people are concerned that it's oversaturated, and here I want you to get an accurate picture of what you need to do to actually make some sales here. The first thing is like a high-priced play, so you should take a premium position if at all possible. Maybe build a brand over time. Physically speaking, like in terms of the product specs, if you can make one of these or two of these or three of these your cornerstone, functional, safe, reliable over time, bug-free, easy to maintain, versatile, ethical, all these things. If you can use one of these as what you become known for, then I think you've really got something interesting. Like a Quest bar is not just a protein bar, it's supposed to taste good, or an Apple product is, just works every single time. That would be this. Or like a Volvo, I think they were playing the safety card for a long time. Mountain Equipment Co-op is a pure functional thing for people who like, camping. Obviously luxury brands are all this. So yeah, I mean, this is really quite, you need a cornerstone and you need to play that cornerstone. Yeah, I think that's effectively it. But yeah, so it's oversaturated for generic products, I would say. Like, it's oversaturated for this. There's probably enough bath flutes out there, as ridiculous as that sounds. So how hard is it to sell on Amazon FBA? I'm going to make a distinction here, which is that it's very easy to list on Amazon FBA and much harder to actually get sales for that listing on Amazon FBA. Yeah, so it's very easy to sell on Amazon, in fact, and just get a listing up. And that's not the difficult part. The difficult part is then appearing for keywords when a customer types in search terms afterwards. That's essentially everything, and depends on two things. Number one, if your listing does not contain keywords, and a lot of them that customers are searching for, you're eliminated from the race before it even starts. Like if your listing doesn't have a keyword that customers are looking for, Amazon will not index it for that keyword, most likely. There's no way that it would, or there's no reason why Amazon would. So optimize your listing and have as many high traffic and high relevance keywords as you can. The second thing is that you need to get sales rolling somehow, right? Below cost club or something like that. Like you need... the Catch-22 is a new listing, a brand new one, is not likely to get sales because it hasn't had any previous sales history. So Amazon looks at that and says, well, this product's got 0 sales, so it's not going to be the basketball coach with a heart of gold that just takes you off the bench and gives you your shot. Like it needs to be forced. You need to get initial sales so that sales can be jump started. Yeah, it's more like a heart restart thing than a warm-hearted basketball coach, if that makes sense. So it's those two things, marketing and getting your product visible through optimization and through launches, is more important than actually the logistics of listing a product, which there's a lot of material about. There's less material about how to actually make that first sale. How can I send inventory from Amazon directly to China? Okay. I think you probably should do this. If you think about it, the other option is like, you source a product from China, you send the inventory to a place in the US, which then sends the inventory to an Amazon FBA warehouse. So you're paying for shipping twice. You could actually, since you're shipping from China to the US anyway, you could have your manufacturer send the inventory to an Amazon FBA warehouse in the US, and it's all but automated. Like, you never see the inventory yourself at all. Two caveats though. The first thing is that you need to be really, really confident that there are no defects in the inventory batch prior to hitting Amazon FBA, because it could result in bad reviews. Seller performance could drop, like your defect rate could go up. Amazon is keeping track of POP, for example, which is perfect order percentage. They're keeping a very close eye on which sellers are doing right by customers insofar as product quality and shipping times, and so that will be noted. So you don't want to compromise that, but you also want to improve your margins by shipping directly from China to Amazon FBA. So perhaps the first time, either take it yourself and inspect the inventory, or hire an inspection company to do that for you. Now, that's those are the couple caveats there, but yes, in theory it makes logistical sense and can improve your margins, and that's all I'll say about that. What are the best product categories to choose from for a beginner Amazon FBA seller? So if you look at Diana's answer here, this is pretty decent. These products right off the bat are not necessarily easy to get into because they need ungating, right? Which is possible to do as a starter seller, but it just makes it more difficult to get into. So yeah, that's effectively it. So maybe don't sell anything in these. That's why a lot of the private label product suggestions you'll see are like in sports and outdoors, or in kitchen, or their home decor, or some variation of those. It's certainly possible to get ungated, but it's easier to get ungated after you have a good, clean selling record, after you have some sales history, and after you have a one or two products under your belt. So if it's your first product, you don't necessarily want to complicate it beyond that, and might want to steer clear of these. Yeah, the other thing is that I really stress that I don't think people talk about enough is that it really needs to be something that's underserved at the moment. Just the way that the market is trending in general. I think a lot of sellers can make a good thing turn bad really quickly. So you should have some sort of unique insight about what the product is going to be, and what physical modifications you're going to make to it to improve the value, 10 times over if possible, right? That would be great. So that's my advice there. If too many sellers hop on a concept for a product, like those it happened to anglizers a while ago, it happened to vinyl pads, like for crafting. Obviously fidget spinners got so bad that Amazon had to restrict the category. Like all these things, a good thing that was once good gets saturated and goes bad, and so you sort of need to zig when other people zag in terms of product categories. So maybe something that people aren't looking at now would be something like products to take care of your elders, for example, like elder care, or more industrial things, equipment for restaurants. You can look at industrial equivalents for pretty much any consumer product and find better success there, just because it's being, everyone thinks consumer. Not a lot of people think business to business products. Not a lot of people think industrial. So any product that is, widely regarded as a good idea may soon not be a good idea anymore. So you need to exercise some independent thinking there. Is Amazon FBA overrated? Yeah, so I think it probably is. So but with the sort of condition there that you still have the ability to write a listing and post on the world's largest marketplace and reach customers, in theory. But really good product selection and stronger marketing have never been more important. So it's overrated to the extent that you can't post and start selling, and that it's an actual business structure and not, a scheme or anything. Like it's just a product business. Essentially, if you should think of Amazon FBA as a bonus. If you're really excited about starting a product brand, you should be, in theory, just okay with posting your product on Shopify and figuring out how to get customers from there. Amazon FBA is really a platform that you can leverage to accelerate your sales. But this should be a product that you're excited about from the beginning, and not just something that you're using to leverage the platform. I think that's probably the right way to think about it. So is it overrated? Yes, for people who don't take it seriously. What is the success rate of new Amazon FBA? I don't know how I even linked to my website based on this question, but it's low. As with anything, if you consider the Pareto distribution, I think probably 20% of the sellers are making 80% of the revenue. It's a lot easier once you have revenues and profits to reinvest them and to grow your product portfolio. When you're getting started, it's the hardest. So yeah, once you're at scale, introducing new products is basically all you do. When you're small, marketing one or two products is all you do. So yeah, I think there's a statistic where it's like 10% of startups ever succeed. I think it's probably similar here, and because you can have sort of the effects of scale and exponential growth when a product portfolio really gets going, I think 10% or less is probably a good way to think about it. So Yeah. So on that note, I'm just being realistic. Like I don't, I don't. Yeah, it's better to be realistic and treat these things seriously than to not, and then get disappointed later. So accurate view of reality is always encouraged. So yeah, with that, thank you for watching. Do leave a like and subscribe if this was useful to you, and I will see you